Back in London, and guess where I'm at? I came here for a brief stop before I go to the Harry Potter studio tour, but it's actually much smaller than I thought it would be. Like, it's less wider. It's raining and it's cold, so I don't think I could be out here for much longer. And indeed, I was only there for 15 minutes before getting on the tube to my next stop. Quick side note, I went twice to the Harry Potter studio tour, so I'm combining footage from 2 different months to show you the changes in exhibits. I still had some time to kill, so I visited St. Pancras Station, which was high on my bucket list since it's the exterior for King's Cross in the Harry Potter movies. The architecture was really impressive, and I was pleasantly surprised that it's not just a tube station but a hotel. Something that surprises me about UK train and tube stations is that most of them have shops and cafes, which, considering California doesn't have very good public transit, is quite a new concept to me. And then right next door to St. Pancras was the actual King's Cross station. King's Cross had like a farmer's market going on outside, and then I went inside and saw the iconic departure board. Every time on September 1st, they usually have like a sign over there for 9 3/4. The Hogwarts Express. I think that's it right there. Platform 9 3/4, the photo op. The prices were quite steep for a student budget, and considering I was going to the studio tour, I figured there would be another photo opportunity then, so I skipped it this time. I did go inside the shop to see if they had anything I wanted to buy, but I wasn't too impressed by the quality of the clothing compared to the price. I was hoping to find some authentic wool sweaters or jumpers, but I found out they no longer carry them in store, only online. I kind of want to get these socks. I saw a water bottle and a passport holder that I liked, but I was also waiting to see what the London studio tour shop offered, so I ended up holding off on buying anything here. My first visit to the studio tour in January was through a third-party tour company that provided transportation from Victoria Station to the studio. I spent double for this trip because I didn't realize I had to book my ticket through the official website months in advance, and by the time I did look, they were all sold out for January. I didn't want to miss out on the Hogwarts in the Snow exhibit, so I just coughed up the money this time. The next time, when I went in February for the Mischief Managed exhibit, I only paid £60. Then I did also pay for additional add-ons such as a digital guide and a Quidditch photo packet. That second time, I took a cheap train to Watford Junction and then hopped on the free shuttle bus. I'm on the bus now, and because you never show up on time for things, I'm actually gonna get there around 12. Just got off from the Harry Potter bus. Look at this wall! I'm about to like round the corner to like the studio entrance. Look at this. It's decorated for Christmas, which is why I came now and paid extra to come. Like, that's Hermione's wand. That's Harry's wand. Oh my god, the tree's decorated in the Hogwarts letters. That's like the garland. Then I headed inside and went through security. I'm decked out in my full, like, Hogwarts gear. I dropped off my bag at the bag check. Yule Ball music is playing. In the middle of the atrium, they had a small display that revealed some behind-the-scenes movie magic. That's what they used to bury Harry's footprints in Prisoner of Azkaban to make it look realistic. Like, you can see it right now working. For the Magical Mischief exhibit, it was changed to show all of Fred and George's Stroke Shop products. Before starting the tour, I wanted to eat lunch, so I headed over towards the dining hall. I ordered a steak and mushroom ale pie. We'll see if I enjoy it. There's a lot of food. I don't think I'll be able to finish it all. I think it's just like whatever they marinate the meat with, like the ale, it just makes it very bitter. I don't like it. It was okay. I would not have it again. I think I'm just gonna move on to dessert. This is Harry's favorite dessert in the books, treacle tart. So we'll see if it tastes good. Unfortunately, it was way too sweet and left me trying to drink lots of water to get rid of the taste, which was rather disappointing. Finally, though, it was time for the actual tour. I'm really excited. No story lives unless someone wants to listen. I had to wait for the tour to begin, but when you wait in line, you're surrounded by more behind-the-scene displays, including these walls. The ugly Dursleys. Cupboard under the stairs. Oh my god. This is probably a picture they have in their living room. And his little toy soldiers right there. I kind of tend to cry in Deathly Hallows when he picks up his toy soldier. Full circle moment. You weren't allowed to film in the next 2 cinema rooms, but afterwards you're greeted by the doors to the Great Hall, where they have guests push the doors in and reveal the set.
Welcome to Hogwarts. Now give them a push.
For Hogwarts in the Snow, they of course had it all decorated with Christmas decorations and floating candles, which was such an amazing sight to see as a longtime fan of the books and films. Like, to think this is the actual set where the actors were is insane. I definitely had to take lots of pictures. That's Quirrell, Flickwick putting up the decorations, a Christmas tree, McGonagall, Dumbledore, Snape. Then for the Magical Mischief exhibit, they transformed the dining hall to look like how it was during Order of the Phoenix when the Weasley twins set off fireworks at Umbridge. You have to move on after a certain amount of time to the self-guided portion of the tour. This statue looks familiar because it's in Hogwarts Legacy. Look at these boys. I can't believe they were that short. The Yule Ball. This seems to be a permanent display because when I came for the second time, it was still here. And since the next exhibition will be about Goblet of Fire, I doubt they'll be changing it anytime soon. As you move forward, there's a heavy focus on the costume department, and during the Magical Mischief exhibit, they showed off the Marauders costumes. The place is actually quite bigger than you would expect, and while most would probably finish the tour after 3 hours, I'm a slow explorer and could spend the whole day here. There was a lot of Prisoner of Azkaban displays, including this one with the monster book. Gryffindor's boys' dormitory was one of my favorite sets, and for Magical Mischief, they switched out the Christmas decor for the Prisoner of Azkaban scene where the boys mess around with jelly beans. The Gryffindor common room was also a favorite, and I wish we were able to actually walk on the set, but I understand why we can't. Next, I stopped by Dumbledore's office, which we were able to get a closer look than other sets. I do wish, though, that Universal Studios would have interactive versions of these sets at the theme parks. I like that they had this pensive off to the side. The potions classroom was also interesting because I learned that it was originally the set for the three-headed dog Fluffy and Philosopher's Stone. Then I had a lovely chat with an interactor who showed me the potions book used in the Half-Blood Prince. We spent half an hour talking and she was truly a highlight of my visit. And then came the Quidditch photo package that I paid in advance for. However, I was disappointed by my experience because in their attempts to rush people to get the line moving, it was hard to understand what you were posing for. I was told to smile in pictures for the wanted posters, which does not fit the vibe, and for the video, the guy giving me instructions was mumbling and I could not hear what he was telling me to do, so the video looks a bit tacky. It also didn't help that I wanted to take my glasses off, so I couldn't even look at the monitor to see what was going on. At the end, you can't do different poses for each picture, which again was not explained to me what I was posing for. For £20 though, this was a pretty good value package. As someone who is aspiring to work in the film industry after I graduate, learning all about how these cherished films were made and all the people that were involved is so inspiring to me. I like to think that one day I will hopefully see my name in the credits behind a big production like this one. I only recorded a few of the sets, props, and special effects on display, so if you've never been, I highly recommend to add this to your bucket list. Moving on to the next portion of the tour, the Dark Forest delved into how they would change lighting for night and day scenes, which to think that so many outdoor scenes were actually filmed inside a studio is kind of mind-blowing to me. It's very bright. This part of the spiders made me think of my sister Audrey. They're dropping all around, Audrey. I'm kind of glad that I didn't pay money at the actual King's Cross since I got these pictures for free. They have like multiple options. Plus, there's no line to take a picture. There's a line for the train. I wonder what that's about. There was another photo experience off to the side of the train where they had fake compartments, and frankly it was too expensive for me, especially since it was just me by myself in the compartment. After that, I did go on the train itself and explored. The Mentor attack. The Goblet of Fire.
Isn't there any security?
Order of the Phoenix. Harry's invisibility cloak. Blood Prince. Ronykins and Lavender. This is from the very first Hogwarts Express scene, which is right next to the last scene on platform 9 3/4. The last scene on screen after 8 films in 10 years. They did Ron dirty with that shirt. That's a really fucking ugly shirt. Harry's is a bit nicer, but they really emphasize the middle-old. They're not even middle-aged here. They're probably 32 when they send their children off. Mina Lima. They worked the graphic design team. So sad that they're not finishing their version of the books. Look at all that. I got a butterbeer. Then I went to the outside portion of the tour.
That's a shame that they burnt down this set for something that didn't even happen in the books. Snowing. I don't know if you can see it. Look at the night bus, the bridge in Deathly Hallows and Prisoner of Azkaban.
The photos don't do the night bus justice, and the second time I went, I also took photos in the daytime.
The Privet Drive, the Dursleys. This is so cool.
Fun fact, apparently for the first movie, they filmed Privet Drive on location, but then they built the set because it was more cost effective.
It's mine!
It's a fry from you over 12 dollars. Oh, that's a boy.
Anyway, moving on to the greenhouses. Afterwards, though, I explored the car replica from the Chamber of Secrets and decided it was way too cold, so I continued to the last indoor section of the tour.
I think this is when Hagrid is carrying Harry.
The prosthetic departments were so skilled, and it just shows you how much work needs to be done when working in a fantasy world. Then they had this interactive display where you learned how they animated Dobby.
Christian Coulson, the version of Tom Riddle that was attractive to ladies, that has inspired fan fictions.
They recreated the Gringotts set, which apparently there's a real-life place in London where it was based on. Also, side note, the way they made the fake marble pillars reminds me of how people are now trying to paint their counters like marble. Then you see the Lestrange vault, which is then followed by this dragon scene. Diagon Alley was really cool, especially during the Magical Mischief exhibit.
It's much closer together than the Orlando, the street. And these are authentic sets. Gringotts right there.
Unfortunately, you couldn't step into the shops to get a closer look at the props, but everything was still rather impressive. Then you get to the end of the tour, which is a full circle moment that focuses on pre-production designs and concept art. There's this funeral scene for Dumbledore, which makes me wonder if this was an original idea for the Half-Blood Prince in the script.
So pretty.
Seeing this Hogwarts scale model was probably one of my favorite parts of the tour. Stuart Craig literally designed this from scratch. When I went in January, it was covered in snow, and then in February, they put on a fake fireworks display show from the Order of the Phoenix. At the end, you have the store, which I did end up buying some things that I'll show at the end of the video. The next day, I took some pictures in front of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child on the West End, which I've seen the show in San Francisco 2 years ago, but I might come again on another trip to London. And then my last stop,
The House of Mina Lima. This is the graphic design artist for Harry Potter. And they have a Harry Potter display inside. They also have other stuff that they design on the window display.
I got carried away talking to the employees, so I didn't actually get to film much, but it is a great stop, and they have a lot of cool prints that you can buy.
Someone may swear that I'm up to no good.
Fun fact, Harry Potter's letter is the first prop that was designed for the Harry Potter films.
I'm back in Bristol and I wanted to show you what I actually bought. The first thing are 3 Triwizard Tournament shirts from Goblet of Fire. So I got a Ravenclaw one with my name on it. You can have them personalized, whatever you want. It's included in the price. Slytherin one, and I was debating whether it would be Riddle or Malfoy, but I went with Malfoy. And then I had to get a Harry Potter one, obviously. So Gryffindor. Gryffindor's actually my house. I only got Slytherin and Ravenclaw because I like the colors. And I think this is one of like the coolest pieces of merch the Harry Potter merch line has come out with, because I really find most of their designs tacky, but I feel like these are actually clever designs. Midway through the studio tour, they actually have a shop that's full of discounted merch, and I took advantage of 30% off to get this scarf, because my old one that I was wearing during the video, it's actually ripped, as you can see here. Plus, this one is better quality and it matches the burgundy color of my Gryffindor scarf that I have. I also went and got a Gryffindor bow and a Slytherin bow, and then I also got a Slytherin headband, a authentic Lockhaven Slytherin uniform sweater. It's made out of real wool made in Scotland, and it's like a replica sweater from the films. I wanted to get this one because now I basically have enough Slytherin merch to take photos and dress up as a Slytherin. Along that note, it's still cold here in England, so I got a Slytherin scarf. So it just goes well with like all the green that I have in my wardrobe. And then the last thing I got from the studio tour is this bag. I did a lot of laundry and I didn't have any bags. So I figured I should buy a bag so that I can put my laundry in it and do laundry more easily. And I like the design. It's the Harry Potter Hogwarts Castle, and then it has like all the different like Harry Potter locations, so like the Wizarding World and the shops around the world. And then lastly, at the House of Mina Lima, I couldn't pass up on getting their book. This is like their official book where they go into the behind the scenes of how they came up with designs. And look, I flipped to this Marauders page. It's kind of like an origami like pop-up book. There's several pages like this, and it just shares about like their story as well of how they became the designers of Harry Potter. It's autographed. I couldn't pass up on that, and considering shipping to the US is probably going to be expensive, I figured I should just buy it then and there. Plus they had no more signed copies online. Let me know though if you want me to do like a flip through of this book, because there are a lot of cool designs. With that purchase, it came included this Marauders map print, and I also got this discounted at the House of Mina Lima, this Harry Potter bag. This is perfect. It's like the Harry Potter Daily Profit. Stars for the handle. That's all I got at the Harry Potter trip. Make sure to subscribe and leave a like, and I'll be sharing more content soon about my travels.